So hey guys, how you doing? Let's talk about the Switch Lite, which I found myself, I had to catch myself like 3 or 4 times calling it the Switch Mini because we got so used to calling it that. But just a fair warning, if you see the weather is being weird today and it was sunshine and it's not sunshine, I have the window back there, you can see the reflection for the window open. If I all of a sudden look like an angel ascending to heaven, it's just, it's hard to control the light today with that going on. I guess I could close the window, but whatever. Anyways, let's talk about this Switch Mini. I have some notes here, some things I noticed about it. I'll show you guys some pictures throughout the, I'll edit some pictures and stuff in throughout this entire thing. But some things I noticed, so I'm going to go over my notes over here. So if you see me looking over here, just a second monitor. So Switch Lite specs. First thing is it's smaller. It has a 5.5-inch 720 screen, which for me personally, it's not a deal breaker, but it's not something I would necessarily like. I like the 6-inch screen on the Switch. Bigger is better to me because I know I don't have bad vision. I had it checked last year and they said I have 20/20, but still I feel like I have a hard time seeing like smaller screens for like long periods of time, and it's not the way I would want to play a game for a long period. I feel like the 6 inches is right, but the 5.5 is not a deal breaker to me. It's probably still fine. Alright, we have down-firing speakers. I don't think this is necessarily a good thing. Actually, I like the forward-facing speakers on the current Switch, which I noticed that they're calling it their flagship model, so I'm kind of curious if the Switch Pro is still a thing, if they're still calling this their flagship, but it could have just been, how they're calling it right now, because that's what's available. The current Switch and the Switch Lite will be available this September. But down-firing speakers, they weren't necessarily a good thing on the 2DS XL. Your hands would cover, and I imagine this being a smaller device, maybe your hands might cover up the speakers a little bit. But I guess it being a portable only, you're going to be probably using the headphone jack a lot of the time anyway, so how big of a deal that's going to be. I know I use the headphone jack quite a bit on my current Switch when I'm just playing it out in the living room so I don't disturb my mom when she's watching TV or something like that. Obviously, non-detachable JoyCons. It's all one, the unit's all one body, so there's nothing there to detach, which is going to make it more solid for kids. The thing I'm kind of down on, and it's cool, it has a D-pad now, so that's a good thing because you don't have to, you're not going to be in a situation where you detach it, which I don't find myself in that situation anyways. That's why I wish Nintendo would just sell their own version of a D-pad Joy-Con. But yeah, I never ever find myself in that situation where I'm handing it off to somebody and play all the time. But the D-pad's cool. However, I don't like that they're like the joysticks and the buttons are completely in line up and down like they were on the Joy-Cons. I can understand why it was necessary in the Joy-Cons and the fix for that, like I showed in the last video, like the Satisfy Game Grip was my fix for that. Saying that that's not there, I wish they would have offset it more, made it a little bit more comfortable, but it still seems like your fingers are going to be cramped, so I guess that's great news for Satisfy. Also, to add to that, it does have Bluetooth capability, so you can take your controllers and Joy-Cons, as they said in the video, and pair them, but the weird thing is it's missing a kickstand now, so if you're going to do that, how are you going to prop it up? Is there going to be a dock inside the thing, like a little mini dock to prop it up or something? Guess we'll have to wait and see. So the Switch right now has gyros and accelerometers built into the Joy-Cons, but it also has like a central one inside the tablet. So when you're in portable mode, if you're using any kind of motion sensing or anything like that, you're currently using that particular motion sensor built in, so that's what's inside this. So they don't need to have like the extra batteries and all that stuff in the Joy-Cons because it's all one piece. So there is actual motion sensing capability. You can still gyro aim. It's just not built into any kind of separate piece itself because it doesn't have it. No IR camera is built in. I don't really have a problem with that. However, it will be unfortunate that I can no longer do this in VR. Because I looked so cool doing that. still seems to be using the same NVN Linux OS that the current Switch is doing, so there's nothing different there. And it sounds like saves and stuff will port over just fine through the cloud service as long as you have that. Unless, I guess, you're a Splatoon player, then like what do you do when you're playing Splatoon? Because it seems like that only carries over or it saves onto the system itself, and they don't have a cloud save for that. So I guess pick which system you're going to play Splatoon 2 on. They took out HD Rumble, which is one of the things I kind of have a problem with. I actually liked HD Rumble. It was a haptic feedback. It wasn't necessarily super power crazy or anything like that. I think this is kind of a mistake, especially with games that kind of required it, like Mario Odyssey. There's like ground pound boons that are hidden out throughout the levels. You're not going to be able to tell where those are out without the HD Rumble included. And some games like Okami HD, for instance, like blew me away with like how it was using the HD Rumble feature. It was actually really cool. It was like some of the stuff they did in that, and a lot of other games like Sniper Elite and stuff like that use it really well, and I really enjoy it, and I wish they would have kept it in this. One feature I noticed that they still have inside this thing, and it's odd because Nintendo still doesn't really use it, and I'm going to show it to you here in a second. On the Nintendo Home button, both on the Switch Joy-Con and even on the Pro Controller, there's this little blue light that I would assume is sort of like the notifications blue light that was on the Wii when you get messages and stuff. It's never been used, yet they still have it on. It still looks like they have it on the Switch. I almost said Mini, on the Switch Lite. It's cool. It seems like this Mini can still do like snapshots and 30-second videos to share to places like Twitter, which has been pretty neat for stuff like Mario Maker to share your levels and stuff. People have been taking snapshots and putting it on Twitter. I've been enjoying that. I've been doing that myself for when I make new levels. I did it just last night for a level that I made, so it's cool that some of those social features are still there and functional, and they didn't cut that out at least. On the back of the shell, if you look, there seems to be a dock like cut out. If you look on the back of the Switch, there's like a little thing where the USB-C connector is, and it lines up the Switch to the dock. That's still on there, yet they say this doesn't output to a TV. So why is that still there? Is there like a little dock that comes with the system so you can like set it down and charge it, or what's that all about? And it's cool that they kept the USB-C and didn't go with a proprietary cable. I do like that. So like the battery packs that like Anker has out there and stuff for the Switch, so you can get like extra charge, extra gameplay time and all that. You can still use that, and you can still have it attached while you're playing, so you can look like somebody rocking out like with the Game Boy battery pack back in the 80s if you want to for some reason like that. Or you could just use it to recharge your Switch or something in a bag while you've got it, you know. Little disappointed that the USB port is not on the top. Reason being is, say you do get some kind of accessory that you can set this down, because remember, it doesn't have a kickstand. It would have been nice to have it on the top so you could charge it from there, but I guess since there'll be, and there are some sort of like kickstand-ish things that are licensed by Nintendo now that I think about it, that would work perfectly fine for this. It's just like a little plastic thing that goes like this, and it's got like the little space so you can stick like the USB cable up in there, so that would work fine, but just seems odd. A lot of accessories are not going to work for this. So for instance, stuff like the Satisfy game grip, they would have to make a new game grip to fix the problem that this thing already has, and it seems to exist on the Lite that I would have with it. That would also probably fix the stand problem, because they'd probably integrate the stand just like they did on the current one. The other thing that things that wouldn't work is like the flip grip. So if you were into like pinball and stuff like that, or you were looking forward to getting something like the flip grip so you could play Donkey Kong and all that right aspect ratio and all that, not going to work on this. As far as controllers, things like this, like the NES, whatever you want to call it, like controller, you're not going to be able to recharge this because it recharges off the Joy-Con rail. So this is effectively useless on the Lite. You could use it, you could pair it, that's not a problem, but you just don't have a way to charge it. And this doesn't fit in the charge grip. Alright, seems like there's some internal revision stuff going on. They're using a newer version of the Tegra X1, or so it's suspected that they're using it. It hasn't been proven yet, but it's more than likely. There's one that popped up on some benchmark tests a while back called Logan, and NVIDIA likes to name their Tegra processors after Marvel characters. And so Logan obviously being Wolverine, there was a sister kind of SoC, and SoC I mean system on a chip, because nowadays like the Tegra X1 is just a CPU and a GPU mashed together on one single chip. It seems like there's another one called Mariko, and Mariko would have been Logan's lover in a comic book, but also if you remove the K, it's Mario, which is kind of clever. Seems like this has some efficiency gains. That seems like how Nintendo would be using it, so they'd be still running the same clocks and then getting the battery efficiency. And then maybe if they put this in the current line of, you know, flagship Switches, then they can turn the clock up and get the same battery life, but get a little bit more performance. So I don't know how true it would be that there's a Switch Pro. And then now we have this question of, now that we have a handheld version of the Switch only, they can't go out to the TV. If there's a Pro, is that going to be a like traditional home console that's just that? I don't know. You know, I honestly don't know what they're doing with this. I really wouldn't have thought that they would make a Switch that would not be able to hook up to a TV. That's the one place where I think this is a bit of a mistake. I mean, I don't know, man. If it's me and somebody asked me, hey, you know, especially an adult, you know, I'm looking to get a Nintendo Switch. Would you get one of the minis? First of all, I see it as having the same problem that the Wii U had. There was a lot of confusion about things, and I don't think your average consumer, unless they would literally put it like really big on the box somewhere, only works in portable mode, not TV. And then they would almost have to put on the current Switch box, works on TV as a console and as a portable. You know, there's just a lot of people not out in the know there, and I could see Nintendo getting themselves into trouble with some of this stuff. Like, for instance, like there's like a line of controllers that 8BitDo just released that works on USB, that is USB-A. This device, as far as I know, doesn't have any way to plug into that. Stuff like this is not going to work, although this isn't a mainstream device. So just, I can see this confusing a lot of the consumer public, and I gotta ask, who is this really for? The only thing I can think of is it's mostly for kids. It's mostly for people that 100% know they're only going to play portable, which I find that a little ridiculous and far between, actually. And people that maybe this is being made for the Chinese market mostly. Maybe this is what they're going to sell in China. That $100 is a big deal to the Chinese public. I don't feel like that $100 is as big a deal to the American public, unless you're talking about devices for kids and stuff. If you're somebody that's going to buy a Switch, and even if you're sure that you're going to use it in portable mode, I would still say, you know, get the extra features, spend the extra $100 if you can. You know, if you absolutely can't, then don't. But if you can, get the Switch with the JoyCons and everything in the dock. Because I think once people have that, because the thing is still to this day, I still get a kick out of taking my Switch out of the dock with a game running and it going from portable mode back to the TV and so on and so forth. And that's been a very freeing experience. In a weird way, by having it be portable only, it's kind of constraining to me. Because I'm somebody that I'm not going to have my neck down like this all the time or hold the thing up all the time to play for like 6 hours and stuff. I would have not been able to get through Breath of the Wild in any kind of fast way if it was portable only. So if you had to ask me, do I think this is worth the extra $100 savings? To most people, I'm going to say no. And it's actually, I view it in a weird way as kind of a dangerous product. And I'd like to hope that people out there are going to know the difference between the two. I don't know how Nintendo is going to, I don't know, inform the public of what this device is and what it can and can't do. So anyways, that's it. That's kind of my thoughts on this device. Let me know what you think down below. Also, I'm just not real thrilled with the colors. I think that the white, buttons looks kind of silly to me. I would like it with black buttons, but that's a personal preference. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If not, dislike, and subscribe if you haven't. And I'll see you guys in other videos. And please go check out a couple of my last videos. They'll be here somewhere, probably on this side. There you go. All right, later guys. Bye.